Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome to episode 13 of Q Reviews. As you know, I am Q, back at it again with another review, and this time, this is a big review. This is something I've been waiting to do for a long time, and we're finally here. Here it is. For all of the people who aren't into superheroes, or maybe they just haven't kept up with the series, or they flat out just don't care, I'm about to lace you up. I'm about to put you on game. This is it. It's Q Reviews. This is the Marvel Cinematic Universe review. And so now the MCU has 23 movies. And it's split into 3 different phases. So I'm going to review each phase, and I'm going to give an overview of each movie within the phase. And at the end of the video, I'll reveal where I rank each of the movies in the MCU. Now remember, these are just my thoughts, my opinions. It's just how I interpret the movie. And also, I'm basing my thoughts on the relevancy of how it fits into the cinematic universe, and also the quality in the story and script, and then just if it was executed properly or not. This will include spoilers. So if you haven't seen some of the Marvel movies, or you haven't seen any of them and you don't want to be spoiled, you want to watch it for your first time and have a clean slate, pause this movie, go watch 23 movies, and then come back to this movie so you kind of understand. But if you don't care about the spoilers, stick around. Complete overview of the movies, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Today, we're going to go over phase 1. And within phase 1, you have Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, and finally, Marvel's The Avengers. So let's get into it. It all started in the summer of 2008 with Iron Man. Iron Man is honestly, Iron Man is spectacular. Iron Man is, it's just the way it's the proper way to start off a story. Tony Stark inherited Stark Industries from his father Howard Stark, and he's selling products to the US military for defense purposes. And during one of the sales pitches that he's giving, shit just goes sideways, man. He gets kidnapped by this terrorist group, and they place an electromagnetic magnet in his chest to keep the shrapnel shards away from his heart, because if it touches his heart, he's gonna die. And so Tony wakes up. He's like, yo, where the hell am I? What's going on? And, there's this captive doctor there, and he's like, bro, you've been kidnapped. It's over for you, playboy. You're done. Tony Stark is so smart. He's like, no, I'm not done. I'm going to build a suit out of iron, and I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to get the hell up out of here. And what does he do? He does that. He does that shit. He got up out of there. Blasted away. Fell into the desert. The US military found him. They said, Tony, let's go home. Everyone was happy to see him. Kinda. And so you could tell he's shaken up. You could tell that he doesn't feel comfortable handling business the way it was done before. So he says, yo, let's flip the switch. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing weapons anymore, bro. We're done. With a new change of heart, Tony built a new Iron Man suit. He learned how to fly. He gave it some upgrades, and man, you get Iron Man. You got him right there. In every movie, there's always a hater trying to slow you down. And in this one is Obadiah Stane, who was actually Howard Stark's original partner for Stark Industries. This guy is actually the person who set up the kidnapping for Tony. Basically, he wanted to see Tony fail. He wanted Stark Industries. He acts like he's cool with Tony, and it's super frustrating because, he's trying to be like this father figure. He's trying to act like he's all cool with them. And It turns out Obadiah sent a shipment of the ammo that the terrorist group wanted Tony to build. He sent them a shipment of that. So Tony found out and he was like, huh, yo, we about to shut that shit down. Tony flew to the country and was like, nah, I'm taking care of all this. Basically, Tony found out that Obadiah was turning his back and doing evil work. He was like, yo, you're done. You're out of here, bro. It's over for you. But it was kind of late. Obadiah found the remains of the original Iron Man suit that Tony built and escaped the cave from. And he put that shit back together. He was like, boop, boop, boop. Now they had to throw hands. They had to throw hands. And before they throw hands, Obadiah took the electric magnet out of Tony's chest, also known as the arc reactor. You know, once you take that out of his chest, you know, of course, Tony could die. But what do heroes do? They hero. Tony got down to his basement, found the OG arc reactor that was originally in his chest, and he called his homie James Rhodes, and he was like, yo, I gotta go kill this bitch. I have to go whip his ass. He laced up the Iron Man shoes and flew out, put the hands on the man, took him to another altitude, had his whole suit just frozen, you know, and shutting down. And honestly, they gave us one of the best 1v1 fight scenes in the entire MCU. After all is said and done, there was a press conference. Tony is like, yo, I don't know what to tell y'all. Besides the fact that I'm Iron Man. Boom. Movie's over. Crowd goes wild. It was a crazy ending. It was perfect. And that's how you make a good ass movie. That's how you make a good movie. Just off the rip. The movie gave us post-credit scenes. In the post-credit, you see this scene where the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury, who's played by Samuel L. Jackson, visits Tony and he's like, hey man, honestly, I'm putting together a team. And you aren't the only one out there that has, you know, special abilities. I'm having tryouts. I'm gonna keep you informed. I'm gonna keep you engaged and stuff like that. And we'll check you out. You might be able to run point. Straight fire. All good things come to an end. That's what happened with The Incredible Hulk. Same year, same summer. Just a few weeks later, man. The Incredible Hulk, not to be confused with Hulk, that came out in 2003. The Incredible Hulk was another attempt to make a Hulk movie. Honestly, it was so damn bad, bro. I don't even think I need to go into as much detail as I did with Iron Man. So just to keep it a buck with you, Bruce Banner is a doctor, he's a researcher, and he made an experiment with General Ross that was meant to make humans immune to gamma radiation. The experiment failed and the gamma radiation got on Bruce Banner and boom, he becomes the Hulk. Killed a few people, he hurt the general and his daughter who he happened to be dating at the time. Bruce skedaddled and he became a fugitive. Years pass, we find Bruce in Brazil and he's trying to find a cure. Cut his finger. At work, tried to retract the blood, but the blood got into a bottle, got shipped to the US. Stan Lee drinks out of the bottle. Stan Lee dies. So General Ross found out, he was like, yo, let's track the blood, let's track down Banner. And he sent a task force, like 7 men, maybe 8 men. He sent a task force to Brazil to capture the damn Hulk, bro. They all got their ass beat, man. They all got tore up. It was not even a competition, man. And so one of the task members survived. His name was Emil. He was like, yo, how did Bruce Banner become the Hulk? Like, what happened? So General Ross told him what happened, and homie was like, well, can I have some? And General Ross was like, I mean, yeah, we can give you a little bit. And so the serum that, you know, was given to Emil, it made him stronger and faster and more agile, but also it made him look like he was dying. For some reason, after this, Bruce Banner feels like he needs to go back to America. And who's the first person he wants to see when he's in America? General Ross's daughter. And so, of course, General Ross was like, get the bump. The Hulk fought members of the U.S. government on a college campus while college students recorded the fight. Can't make that shit up, bro. Emil was like, bro, give me some more of this. I want to go toe to toe with the guy. And what happens? You make the anti-Hulk. And now these CGI pudding pops are having a fight in the middle of the busiest intersection. Hulk wins. He escapes. The end. Like Iron Man, we got another post-credit scene. And in this post-credit scene, Bruce is, he's in the UK. And he's learning to control his anger. Congratulations, bro. And so then we get another post-credit scene, like the ending, like the post-credit scene, the real one. And this is where Tony Stark meets General Ross at like this bar. And he's like, yo, man, I might need to holler at your homie because, I'm trying to offer this team. We might need him running center. Cool. It's lit. So, 2 years later, back again like we never left with Iron Man 2. So we're back, we're bigger, brighter than the last time. Psych, we're not. Tony finds out his arc reactor, the thing in his chest, is killing him. It's draining his energy, man. So he's like, yo, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. He made Pepper Potts the CEO of Stark Industries. So she needs to hire someone to replace her role as Tony's personal assistant. And who gets hired as Tony's personal assistant? None other than Natasha Rushman. Not Romanoff. Not yet. Stark is like, you know what? Let's go worldwide, baby. Let's go. So they go to Monaco to compete in this Grand Prix. And Tony is attacked by this villain, Ivan Vanko, who's a Russian engineer with electric whips. It's some real kinky shit right there, man. It was bigger. It was better than the last time. So we saw Iron Man 1 where he had his suits and stuff like that. But this time he said, I'm more mobile. He made the suit come out of a suitcase. It is crazy, man. He puts the suitcase on the ground, steps into it, clink, clank, clink, clink, clank. It comes all over his body. Boom. It was one of the coldest suit ups you're gonna see in the entire MCU. So he beats the brakes off the guy in front of everybody, embarrasses the guy. They locked him up. Ivan was like, bro, I'm gonna be back. Trust me, I'm gonna be back. Tony always has haters, you already know. This one, his name was Justin Hammer. And he just wanted to be Tony Stark so damn bad, bro. It was kind of pitiful. Justin is able to fake Ivan's death so he can get him out of prison. And he's like, yo, you come work for me. Build Iron Man suits. Like, build an army of them. Ivan was like, of course, my G, I got you. The only thing I need, though, bring my bird back from Russia. So Justin was like, all right, man, I guess I go get your bird. Meanwhile, Tony is like, yo, man, this might be my last birthday. We gotta turn up. We gotta go out with a bang. And he threw this Project X type party where he put on an Iron Man suit. He's blasting watermelons, midair. It was crazy. Pepper Potts was like, hey, we gotta shut all this down. I'm the CEO. I can't have you just out here blowing up watermelons over women and stuff like that. Nah. And for some reason, the dude from Hotel Rwanda showed up in an Iron Man suit, bro. It's mad weird. Nah, I'm just playing. It was James Rhodes, but it was Don Cheadle, but he replaced Terrence Howard because it's hard out here for a pimp. The new James Rhodes had to put the hands on Iron Man in the War Machine suit. It was crazy. They're fighting, and what are they fighting to? Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. They did this shit proper. It was solid. It was a really good scene. James beat my man Tony up, took the suit, and gave it to the government. He's an op. Tony went to Randy's Donuts. Shout out to my West Coast family. Nick Fury pulled up and was like, damn, boy, you got your ass beat, dog. Who else did he pull up with? Natasha. Now she's Natasha Romanoff, not Rushman. She also works for S.H.I.E.L.D. And also, she's Black Widow. Nick Fury lays Tony up. He said, yo, look, man. Ivan dad worked with your dad, but your dad took Ivan's idea and also sent that man back to Russia. And I'm sitting there like, shit, if I was Ivan, I'd want to beat your ass too, you know? Tony found out Ivan was still alive. And he was like, yo, you know what, man? Let me replace my arc reactor right quick. And let me just end all of this stuff, man. While at the Stark Expo, Justin Hammer is, you know, showing off the suits that Ivan built for him. He's like, yo, this is what it is. This is going to help defend our country. I'm the man. And who did he have front and center just helping him out with this? War Machine. He's like, bro, what are you doing, man? So Tony pulled up and he was like, bro, you need to like chill. They are trying to kill me. Ivan, he like remoted in on all of the suits and they just started blasting Tony. The War Machine suit, it was like, yo, I gotta kill you too. And you know, Don Cheadle's in there like, yo, Tony, I'm not doing this. And Tony's like, you know what? Let's take this somewhere else. We don't even need to interrupt all these people. But of course, they start blasting and stuff like that. It gets out of hand. Tony finesses his way through all of that. Justin gets arrested, still a hater. And Ivan killed himself by blowing up a suit and the rest of the drones. And so after all of that, Nick Fury comes back and he's like, you know what, bro? You're a little too complicated. You're just a little too complicated for my squad. So I'll catch you next season. And I was confused. I was like, wait a second, what? That's the end of the movie. The post-credit scene for this one is Agent Coulson, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent from the first Iron Man movie, who I explicitly left out because honestly it didn't really make any sense. He found a big ass hammer in the desert in New Mexico. And whose hammer is it? So the hammer belonged to Thor. And now we get the worst MCU trilogy. Let's start with Thor. Man, this one here. This is Marvel's attempt to go mythical on us. It's you know, it's our first godlike Marvel movie. And I'm gonna just keep it real simple. It was trash. It was very bad. It's not a good movie. Alright, let's see if I could just run through this. Thor did what his dad told him not to do. Thor's dad took away his power and sent him to Earth. This woman named Jane finds Thor. She likes Thor. Thor is looking for his hammer. Thor finds his hammer. He fights S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Hawkeye sits and watches Thor fight the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Agent Coulson listens to Thor fight S.H.I.E.L.D. agents through Hawkeye. Completely random. Thor gets his hammer. It doesn't work. He realizes his powers still don't work. He cries. Jane finds Thor again. They fell in love with each other. Thor's brother Loki finds out that he's adopted and he gets mad. Thor's friends come to Earth to tell him. Loki sends the Destroyer to kill Thor. Out of nowhere, Thor gets his powers back. He defeats the Destroyer. Thor leaves Jane. He goes back to Asgard, his home. He fights Loki. He wins. The end. This movie's hella trash, like I said. Post-credit scene, Jane's friend is taken to a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Nick Fury opens a briefcase, shows him a blue cube, says, yo, what is this? Can you help us? The homie gives a weird answer. The whole time, it's Loki. He's using a shapeshifter power. It's garbage. Now, we get a familiar name. We get a familiar face. We know what it is. Now we get to Captain America, the First Avenger. This is the man, you know, this is the face of Marvel. It's Cap. It's Cap. It's his introduction to the MCU. And honestly, after rewatching it, it's pretty solid. So here's what happened. The movie is set in 1942. Shout out to Don Julio. You start off with a young Steve Rogers. And, you know, he looks like baby Slenderman. He gets rejected to fight in World War II. His boy Bucky Barnes, he's able to enlist and he's pissed about it. He's like, yo, I do not want to fight in no World War II. I don't. And so while having this private discussion, this Dr. Erkson, he's like eavesdropping and he comes up to Steve and he's like, you know, homie, if you really want to get down, like, say less, I got you. I just need you to do this quick little favor for me. And Steve was like, I bet. And so at this point, when I'm rewatching, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to believe that 90% of the MCU decisions are based on someone saying, hey, do you want XYZ? Just do this for me. And someone's like, oh yeah, for sure, I can do that. And that's how decisions are made. Dr. Eskin, he basically is in charge of a super soldier experiment for, the US government. Guess who he's working with? Howard Stark. That's right, yeah, Tony's dad. He's also working with Agent Peggy Carter and Colonel Chester Phillips. Because Steve is so small, a lot of people think that he can't really go through this experiment. But Steve, he does his things like, I could do this all day, And he's gonna say that a few times throughout this MCU, bro. They pull energy from this source called the Tesseract, which was the blue cube that Thor's doctor friend in the post-credit scene from Thor. And so they get the procedure done, and my boy Steve turned into Buffy the Buffman. And shit pops off. A secret terrorist group named Hydra was there. They sent an assassin to kill the doctor who created this serum. And so Cap chased this man throughout New York. I'm talking through all boroughs, bro. Just chased him. Finally caught him, but the assassin killed himself. Told that boy Hail Hydra. And so, of course, Steve felt bad, and he was like, yo, I'm looking for revenge. But the U.S. government was like, yo, slow down, bucko, relax. And they pretty much made him a mascot to sell war bonds. And so Steve was sick of that. He was like, nah, bro, I'm tired of this. I don't want to be a mascot. Then he found out his boy Bucky was missing, MIA. He was like, nah, I'm about to find homie. Agent Carter and Howard Stark, they were like, yo, we'll pull up with you. So they flew him into enemy territory to do a solo rescue mission. And this is when Steve saw what Hydra was really about. And he was like, oh, no. But he found his boy Bucky and a few other people that were held as prisoners. And he was like, yo, we got to get y'all out of there. So they broke out, did this whole fight and stuff like that with, Hydra spies. Got out, and Cap was like, yo, y'all want to destroy some more of these Hydra bases? And all the homies was like, yeah. So they rolled out on some Magnificent Seven shit. It was crazy. It was really good. And the leader of Hydra, he became the Red Skull. And it was wild because just one look at him and you would know that's the Red Skull because he had a red skull. A very important part of this movie, Howard Stark, Tony Stark's dad, said, you know what, homie? I'm gonna give you a little makeover. I'm gonna, kind of give you a suit makeover. So he gave him the red, white, and blue, the drip. It was solid. But he also gave him a shield. And this shield was made out of a rare metal called vibranium. And if you know, you know. And if you don't, you'll figure out in a few videos, man. Cap and his team, they were on a mission and it went sideways, Ended up where Bucky fell to his death. It was sad. My man Cap took it hard. That was his boy. So Cap was like, you know what? We got to end all of this Hydra shit. I'm tired of it. So he found out they had weapons of mass destruction. And they were planning on using it on major U.S. cities. Cap said, not on my major U.S. cities. He hopped on this helicarrier ship. Basically, Red Skull was on there, Hydra was on there, and, the weapons were on there. They were going to drop it, and Cap was like, nah, I'm about to put hands on you, dog. You're not doing that. And so Red Skull took the Tesseract, put it in his hand. He got sucked into a wormhole, and Cube drops, burns a hole in the ship, and falls in the middle of the ocean. Basically, after that happened, Cap is like, yo, there's no way to land this plane without the weapons exploding. So he had to take it for the team. He called up Peggy. He said, yo, Peggy, look, I like you. And we had a date for next week, but, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me, girl. Stay down. And you know what? She was like, I got you, Steve. And so he crashed the ship. He took it for the team. Boom. And so Howard Stark, eventually he was able to locate the Tesseract, but he wasn't able to locate Cap. So they were like, yo, Captain America's dead. Then, the next scene, Captain America wakes up and it's like he's in this hospital room. And he was like, yo, man, something's off, man. Man, these dumbass SHIELD agents tried to pull the okie doke on this guy. He's like, nah. He ran through what appears to be like a studio, and he made it outside, and then, he's like, damn, bro, what? It's 70 years later, and Nick Fury comes behind him. He's like, yo, I need you to calm down. I need you to relax. You've been asleep for 70 years, man. You were in a coma. And so it's like 2010 and Captain America is alive again. And the movie's over. And so in this post-credit scene, Nick Fury pulled up on Cap. He was in a boxing gym. Bah, 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 hitting his, doing his little jabs on his bag. Nick Fury was like, hey, man, that threat is here. It's here. Let's go. And so within these post-credit scenes, just to let y'all know, I've already said a few of them, but they're pretty much going to tell you what happens in the next movie and stuff. And so now we get to the big thing. Already know what time it is. Assemble the crew, because now we're at Marvel's The Avengers. Man, the moment we were waiting for. The Avengers starts with Loki basically requesting to invade Earth with an alien army called the Chitauri. And all he needs to do is give the leader of the Chitauri the Tesseract. Well, Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. have the Tesseract. So what does Loki do? He attacks the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. While doing that, he took over Dr. Eric Selvig, Jane's friend, and Hawkeye, so they could help him with, all of this hard, labor work. And so Nick Fury, Agent Phil Coulson, and Agent Maria Hill, they make it out of the facility before it crumbles into the center of the earth. And they are heated. My man Nick Fury had to jump out of a plane and shit, and he was like, yo, I'm calling a team. That's it. I don't care. Let's go. Whatever. He sent Black Widow to get Hulk. He sent Agent Coulson to get Iron Man. And then he went to get Captain America, the punching bag joint. Now, Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow, they conveniently capture Loki, and, it seems a little too easy. Who comes to crash the party? That boy Thor. And it was a fight. It was Thor versus Captain America versus Iron Man. Hands were thrown. It was lit. But after the fight, Thor was like, you know what? I guess it makes sense for S.H.I.E.L.D. to take Loki into questioning. So Loki was locked up in a S.H.I.E.L.D. prison unit, and Iron Man and Bruce Banner are now focused on finding the Tesseract. Loki is playing mind games with these people. He's all in their mental, and eventually it divides the Avengers. And as these dumbasses are arguing, a possessed Hawkeye and other possessed people that Loki has possessed with his scepter, they're able to get on this reflective helicarrier that had Loki, all of the Avengers, Nick Fury, and the members of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so the only person Loki didn't mess with was Bruce. Until he did. Because at this time, Bruce hadn't become the Hulk. He was just like, nah, I'm not really trying to be the Hulk. I'm just trying to help find the Tesseract. Loki got in that man's head and was like, you know what, bro? Showtime. Go. Boy went from Banner to Hulk, and shit hit the fan. Black Widow was able to knock some sense into Hawkeye, so he snapped out of his, possessed mind. And Loki escaped the helicarrier. He also killed Agent Coulson. And then he also got Thor to fall off, and Hulk to fall off too. And so Nick Fury was like, yo, we gotta get this together. This is not how a team works. He had to give them the Phil Jackson, Coach of the Year speech. Get your shit together, man. That's really all it was. Just get your shit together. So Loki was like, man, let me just set up shop at Stark's tower. And he used the tower to create a wormhole so the Chitauri could come into Earth and basically create this invasion. And now you have the Battle of New York. It's a very important scene in the MCU because this was the first time we saw all 6 Avengers together side by side, and we got this monumental 360 shot of them having each other's back. Basically they're fighting the Chitauri and they're trying to figure out like, yo, where are these people coming from? Where is this coming from, dude? And finally they're like, yo, the wormhole. So they found the wormhole generator and they used Loki's scepter to kind of shut it down. And so the World Security Council, they sent a missile. They were like, yo, we just blow up all of Manhattan if we really want to. Iron Man was like, nah, give me that. And he took the missile into the wormhole, like just went into the wormhole, and it exploded. And so the Chitauri were defeated. But Iron Man is falling out of this wormhole, and he lost power in his suit. By the time he's like back into the atmosphere, he's free falling. But that boy Hulk, he had to intercept that man, and he saved him before he crashed to the ground. And so the battle is over. The Avengers have saved the day. Thor took Loki and the Tesseract back to Asgard. Nick Fury was like, yo, keep your cell phones on. Might need y'all again. And that's the end of the movie. And so I won't tell you the post-credit scene for that one. I'll save that one for the phase 2. I'll introduce that in the phase 2 review. But at the end of the day, this, that was the phase 1 of the MCU. Let's talk about the ratings. Okay, so I'm rating the movies on a 1 to 23 scale. And for phase 1, I have Iron Man at number 2, The Avengers at number 8, Iron Man 2 at number 14, Captain America, The First Avenger at number 15, Thor at number 18, and then The Incredible Hulk at number 20. And looking at that, honestly, it's spread, which is a good thing, because it shows, even though they gave us some pretty terrible movies, they gave us some really great movies within the MCU. Now, I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to comment in the comment section, and I want you to tell me where these 6 movies rank on your MCU list, if you've seen them. And then also, if you haven't seen them, tell me, like, now that you've heard an overview of, what they're about, you've heard their description, like, are you down to watch it? And like, if you're down to watch it, and then like, let me know like what you think. And so, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share the videos on all of the platforms. It's Q Reviews channel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be safe, wash your hands, and until the next video, be easy.